We're going to look at some more examples of what we saw yesterday. It's going to be the same stuff, we're just getting more practice because, again, it's tough to kind of turn the stuff in your head, redraw it, figure out where you're going, all that kind of stuff. So, want to get a little bit more practice and we'll spend some more time on it again tomorrow. So, we're going to find missing side lengths, again, using triangle similarity shortcuts. So, given that CAR is similar to ITL, find X and Y. Again, pick which one you want to redraw. I will redraw this triangle on the right, so it's going to look similar. It doesn't have to be perfect. C goes with I, so that one's already good. A goes with T, that's already good. And R goes with L, so I really didn't even have to redraw it. Okay, because they're already matched up. C and I, A and T, and then R and L. So to find X and to find Y, we're going to set up a proportion. So X goes with 10. You could also have written it X goes with 10 like that, and then on the bottom. So X goes with 10. These two sides match up. And then I'll go ahead and do 12 has to go with 38.4. That's to find X. To find Y, these two sides match up. So we have 15 over Y. And again, you're going to use the same sides as we did before, equals 12 over 38.4. So we're going to get 38.4x equals 120. And that's going to give us 120 divided by, you guys can work ahead, 38.4. And we get 3.125 for x. And for y, we're going to do the same thing. So we get 12y equals, let's see what this comes out to be, 15 times 38.4. Maybe it'll work out nicely. 576. Perfect. Divide by 12. And y is 48. Okay, so starting off with one that's not too bad. Moving on to number 2. Excuse me. Given AB is parallel to DE, DA is 2, CA, you guys know I can't draw those little squiggle bracket things, CA is 8, CE is 3, find CB. Okay? And we're going to learn a trick later on about this, but not for now. Right now, what we can also figure out is that if this whole thing's 8, this part's 2, this has to be 6. And we want to be able to find this. In other words, we need to find x. If we find x, we can go ahead and plug it in and add it to 3. So we have to look at what we have here and what triangles are similar. Well, again, these are corresponding angles. These are corresponding angles. So there's our triangles. And again, redraw them. If you need to redraw both triangles. So I'm going to do that in this case, just because otherwise it might get a little bit messier. So here's our small one. Here's our big one. So our small one is DCE. Our big one is ACB. And just label everything. So DC was 6. Let's see. DE is, we don't know. Okay, so we don't have to label it. And CE is 3. Our big triangle AC is 8. AB we don't know. And CB would be 3. And an X, it's not 3X because that doesn't make sense. You don't want to multiply those. You just want to add them up. That's like a little plus little equals big. So that's like X plus 3 or 3 plus X. Okay, set up to find X and then we can find CB. 6 goes with 8. 3 goes with X plus 3. Number of different ways you can set this up. I'm going to set it up as 6 over 8 equals 3 over X plus 3. That's one way that works. Cross multiply, so we get 24 equals 6 times X plus 3. Don't take shortcuts. Work ahead if you want. Pause. Fast forward to see if you got it right. 6x plus 18. Subtract both sides. 6 equals 6x. So x is 1. Again, that's not the answer to the question, though. If it's multiple choice and you just circled 1, you got it wrong. X is equal to 1, which means CB is equal to 4 units. Okay? And again, we will learn a shortcut for that in a couple of days. Moving on. Identify similar triangles, indicate the postulate that was used, and then solve for x and y. Okay? So, let's see what we can use here. We have two triangles inside here, and I'm going to go ahead and actually label these with some letters. I didn't do that before. I really should have. We'll call this A, B, C, and then we'll call this D. We'll call this E so that we can go ahead and label things. Okay, first of all, we want to figure out how we can prove these triangles are similar. Well, I'm also going to tell you that these are parallel, so that it works. We know that this angle, that angle are congruent, this angle are congruent, and we know that this is a shared angle. So, again, we can use AA, and I'm going to go ahead and redraw the bigger triangle. Maybe I should have done that below for space. So that's A, B, C. So this side would be 10. This side is going to be 8 plus y plus 10, or that would be y plus 18. And the bottom is x plus 9. Okay? So again, I'm going to get rid of this here. I don't really need to look at that anymore. And now we know that we've identified our similar triangles, so we're going to say that triangle BDE, we'll call it, is similar to triangle BAC by angle, and now we're going to do our math part. So I know that 4 and 10 match up, so that's 4 over 10 is proportional to, and if I'm going to find x first, I would say that I am going to have x over x plus 9. To figure out what y is, we're going to do the same kind of thing. 4 over 10 equals, and then we'd have 8 over y plus 18. Again, you can't have an x and a y in the same one, so you got to be careful with that. We couldn't have set something up like x over x plus 9 equals 8 over y plus 18. You have to use some sort of constant like our 4 over 10. Cross multiply. 4 times x plus 9 equals 10x. So we have 4x plus 36 equals 10x. 36 equals 6x. So x is 6. Same idea over here. We get 80 equals 4y plus 72. 8 equals 4y, so y is 2. Okay, so again, the proportions aren't the tough part. It's definitely setting it up, making sure you can find those postulates. Alright, let's look at a very similar one again. Identify similar triangles, indicate the postulate used, and solve for x and y. Okay? So again, we see we have parallel lines. We know that these angles are congruent. We know that these angles are congruent. We could also use that one. So again, I'm going to do the same type of thing here. I'm going to redraw the big one. That's A, C, B. AC is 30. AB is x. And CB has to be 6 plus y or y plus 6. Again, it cannot be 6y. You would not multiply those sides. That would not make sense. Get rid of this down here, and let's compare these two triangles. So again, we have triangle, call it MCN, is similar to triangle ACB by angle, and now we get into the math part again. So to solve for x, again, here's my constant. These two sides match up, and these two sides match up. So I'll use 12 over 30 equals, I'll find x first, so I'm going to make it 10 over x. To solve for y, I'm going to go ahead and do again, 12 over 30, there's my constant, where I know my ratio, my scale factor. 12 over 30 equals 6 over y plus 6. 12x equals 300. Hopefully this works out nicely. Let's see. 25. So x equals 25. And your other one, let's see, we have parentheses around this guy. 180 equals 12y plus 72. Subtract, so we get 108 equals 12y. So y is going to be, I believe that is 9. Okay. So x and y are 25 and 9. If you plugged them back in, you would get all similar or proportional ratios. This one's going to be due tomorrow, but I'm going to get you guys set up with it because it's a little bit trickier. So we know that we have these two angles are congruent. So that's one A. We need another A, or sides that are proportional. Anytime you don't have all three sides, you can't use that. So what we do have, though, is that, let's see if I can outline these for you guys. This triangle, and then we have this bigger triangle here. And what we notice is that this angle is shared for both. So when you go to redraw everything, you can keep the small triangle. So I'm going to keep the red one I drew. But when I go to redraw the big one, I'm going to have to actually turn it a little bit. Okay, and everything's going to switch spots, and it's kind of flipped around and all over the place. Okay, so B, this one arc here needs to go with D. A stays in the same spot, that goes with itself, A, and then C is actually up here. I should mark that with 2 arcs there. Go ahead and relabel everything. DC is 8. We have AD, if I can find where I'm at, 5 plus 8 is 13. And then AD, oops, look on the wrong spot, 13 here. And AC is going to be X plus Y. Okay, so you got to kind of think about what you might want to do here first. What you need to do is either find X or Y first. You're kind of restricted to finding X first. So again, make sure you set up a proportion that lets you find X. So we could do, let me get rid of this for you guys now. Oops, I didn't want to draw over that 4. So not looking at that, we're just looking at that smaller triangle and comparing everything. That will be your constant side, the 8 and the 4. And again, you're going to have to find X first and then plug it back in here before you find Y. Okay? So finish this one for tomorrow. I'll make sure you guys have that one done. If this one's not done, it's like you didn't do the notes. So make sure this one gets done. Make sure you've attempted it and worked through it. See ya.